70 Corvette.
Yeah, this car is so cool. I mean, the paint was cool, way ahead of its time. Do you agree?
Oh yeah,
The graphics and
been a custom painter my whole life, and I was really young and painted that thing up, custom painted it, and it's yeah, people loved it. I mean, it was very unique, and plus it was a Corvette, which you didn't really see. Top Pro Street.
I think you're the one who brought what was his name, Rocket Rob, out with his vet and put all the crazy colors on it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you had the car, the Corvette. You came down there. There was Pro Street era back in the day, '94. You were just wanted to be a part. Did you learn about that, or did you read about it? How did you know you wanted to be at that event?
Well, it was all about street racing, getting off the street, and we started doing these grudge matches down at Union Grove and Rock Falls, and Kaukauna, Wisconsin had a few things going on like that. But yeah, it was basically getting off the street and on the track, and then the NMC was formed, and then that started it all. And then we got off the street, went on the track, and the rest was history. Walk
right in, all you sinners and saints. Tonight's the night, we're gonna take off these chains. Some rules will never mend. It came with a warning, now we're all out of time. This romance with ignorance has left us behind. Sit back, relax, begin. It's too early for surrender, too late for a prayer. We can't go to hell if we're already there. They say the end is coming and I need to prepare. We can't go to hell if we're already there.
Alright everybody, welcome to Rana's Radar. Here is another hot rod shop tour. I'm here in Wisconsin and I just love finding places that's got so much character, memorabilia, not to mention award-winning builds. I'm joined here with Bill and Becky. Get over here, you two. How's it going?
It's going great.
So happy. Thank you for letting me come here and check out the shop.
Sure.
I met Bill. Some of you might recognize him from last week's, a couple of weeks ago, we did the Havlicks FSC shootout. And of course, you had the beautiful Belay.
Yeah, it's 1969 Pro Street car, and it was a Pro Street event and a drag race event. And of course, I saw a lot of drag racing buddies that I used to drag race with, and women too. And that summer, she was there. I used to drag race against her, so it was a great time. And then yeah, that car show, I've talked about it all week to everybody. It was just an amazing time.
It was an amazing time. And I said Bill, but everybody knows him as Elvis.
Yep.
So we do have Elvis in the back, and we are going to go through it and get to know Bill a little bit more. But Becky, I'm so happy that you are here as well. We didn't get to see you at the show.
No, I was babysitting grandbabies. Our daughter and her husband were in his brother's wedding.
Nice. And not to mention, of course, you've got an awesome cafe right here across the road from the shop. So hopefully we'll have time to go and have a look at that as well. But Bill, Elvis, I'm going to call you Elvis.
Sure.
Okay, I think I'm going to do that, everybody. So Elvis, there is so much here and there is a lot happening inside the shop. There's a lot of projects, but both of you together, there is so much history with not just cars, but racing. And we're not talking racing cars. Tell us about that.
So in the 90s, I started, got off the street and got on the track and started drag racing. The NMC was born, NMCA was born, Outlaw Superstock. So we started doing this street legal car drag racing. And that led all the way up to 2002. That was my last time racing at Union Grove, was the last time that I raced that Corvette. In 2004, I sold the Corvette. The Corvette went away for 17 years, and I bought the car back, and it was untouched, and I think that's why I bought it back. If it was painted and altered, and it just would have been history, but when I saw it, it was like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen this car in 17 years, and it was untouched. So I bought it back, and after going to the Pro Street Shootout last week, it's definitely set a bug that maybe get that out for some exhibition passes and do big wheelies and some low 8, high 7-second passes like I used to.
But it's not just drag racing. Elvis, you've been building some amazing cars, full restoration shop in the back, so we'll definitely give you guys a tour. But when I said racing, I didn't even mean cars. Becky, tell us about that.
Well, in 2002, he started Ice Oval Vintage vintage racing.
Okay.
So what that is, it's mid 70s, usually up to 84 is a cutoff year, but it's called Vintage Snowmobile Racing, and there's all kinds of classes. There's a lot of classes from bone stock to mod stock to super mod, and of course I got to be in super mod because I got to have the bad stuff on the ice. So, but yeah, I've been doing that, and then last year was 25 years of snowmobile racing, and now this year's going to be 26, and people ask, how long are you going to do this? And I thought, maybe retirement was in the future. And, truth be told, snowmobile racing can be very serious. I mean, it's a sport that we know the risk we take, and hopefully, that there's just nothing happens, but it can, and it does, and it will. And that's unfortunate about any type of racing, but it's the same thing I look at every time we wake up in the morning, put a key in the ignition, and something can happen. So just count my blessings, and very religious, pray to God that things are safe for us, and win on race day, and life goes on, win, lose, or draw, as long as we can drive home, we're happy with that. But yeah, my snowmobile racing career has been very dramatic at times, and over the top. And last year I won Member of the Year award, and
Through Pro Vintage Racing.
yeah,
No.
Pro Vintage Racing. Yeah.
Our main
And
club.
yep, and then been with that club since it was basically born in the late '90s. But yeah, just now I'll tell you the truth, I'm 56 years old, and then when I got in this sport, I met buddies, and we all grew up, we all had kids, and now I'm racing. My buddies have retired from racing, but they're still involved. But now little Johnnies are racing, and now I'm racing against their kids. And when the old man does really good against the young generation, I'm pretty proud of that yet. So that I can do it, I'm very blessed, honestly.
The racing is what's keeping you on the edge, and
Keeps me young. I say it keeps me young.
It keeps you young. That's not how you got this, though, right?
No, I had a little accident at the shop this weekend. It sucks because this was planned, and I knew it was going to be on film this weekend, so take a good look. But no, I'm all right. I got banged in the head pretty hard, so but I made it through. And
Well, I'm glad you didn't cancel out on us.
No.
Honestly.
probably should have got some stitches, but I just like to use the term, I'm a tough guy. I don't need those. So
Joe.
yeah.
That's
That's-
Elvis for you, everybody. Let's take a look and find out exactly, first of all, how he got the name, because it's not the name you were born with.
No.
And then definitely let's go inside and have a look at the shop and see some of the current projects, as well as the latest debut.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right.
Okay, Elvis, talk to me. I mean, you walk in here, you think you're in an Elvis museum, not a restoration shop.
Right. No, I've got a lot of Elvis memorabilia, and I'm really easy to buy presents for. I mean, I got a lot of Elvis stuff. And then another thing too is that there was so many people of the age of Elvis that they were, just aging out, and they wanted to get rid of stuff. And I bought a lot of Elvis stuff, and I bought a lot of real cool Elvis stuff. But this wall carpet here, I actually bought that when I was 13 years old at Graceland. My dad took me to Graceland. And I bought that, and that hung in my bedroom all those years in high school and growing up. And when I came here, I took it off the wall and I brought it here. So it's a little dusty, but that's good dust.
That's good dust, okay. Why did people start calling you Elvis? Just because you were a fan of him?
No, it actually started the day that he died. I was 7.5 years old, came home from chores, worked on a couple of farms out in the area, and then turned on TV. And then we had like Gilligan's Island and some other shows that I liked at that time, and turned on the TV as a kid. And every single station, we had channels 2, 5, 7, and 9. Not like we have 300 now to choose from, but we only had a few. But every station had Elvis Presley died. And I honestly, to that point, didn't know who he was. And just like clockwork, my dad came home 5 o'clock and ran outside to meet my dad. And, hey, Dad, big hug, was just 7.5 years old. And we're walking to the house, and I says, Dad, did you hear that Elvis died? And he goes, yeah, I heard that on the radio. And I said, he must have died jumping his motorcycle. He's like, no, you're thinking of Evel Knievel. He goes, Elvis was a rock and roller. So I've always remembered that. So.
Nice.
And then, honestly, that's when it all started. I actually became a fan the day that he basically passed away. But on Friday, Mom and Dad got paid, and Mom took the checks to town, and we went to Shopco. And you walk through the door, and to the right was the whole record section, and here was a cardboard statue of Elvis in one of his suits. And I just, honestly, I can remember like it was yesterday. Like, I just stared at him and thought, man, he's got to be the coolest dude ever. And just been Elvis ever since. So all through high school, through my whole entire life, my whole career, everybody's called me Elvis.
Everybody's just called you Elvis.
Yeah.
Becky might be able to answer this. A little bit better than yourself. Has he ever impersonated as Elvis?
He has.
I mean, with the sideburns, I had to ask.
Right? Yeah, he has. Actually, as you walk into the shop there, just on the outside there, you'll see that he has some of the articles from when he was, and he's sung at some different weddings and events over the years, and even at our own wedding.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I'm noticing something here. Elvis, talk to me.
Yep.
There's you.
Yep. So this is from 2019. There was from Matrix. There's a paint award that was called Mavericks of Color, and then they pick 3 painters, and you're basically awarded as one of the 3 best painters of the year award. This is Jason Vanderwood, Lonnie Spear, and myself. We were the recipients that year, and it's a huge honor. I mean, I'm very humble about it because, I mean, there's so many great painters out there. It's just that I was awarded that year this award, and it's very humbling. It's just very proud of that.
Based on the name outside, body and paint, that would be your specialty.
Yes. Yep. And I'm the only one that primes here. I'm the only one that paints here. So, you know, just that's what I do. All the custom painting, all the motorcycles, all the cars, everything. That's what I do. I do everything else too, along with the guys at the shop, but I'm the only one that paints here.
That's right.
Yeah. I can paint left-handed, I can paint right-handed, I can paint upside down because I've been involved in a couple of snowmobile accidents where I've been altered how I have to paint, and I even blew my leg out one time, and Becky helped hold the hose, and I painted on a crutch, and I had to paint the roof of a car one time on crutches.
That's how you know that Bill is an absolute painter, everybody. Now, you have been recognized for your painting skills
Yes.
in the industry a few times. Tell us about that.
So, well, at SEMA in 2019, that was that Mavericks of Color Award. And then just the car shows, like we've won so many Best Paint Awards. And the best paint has to be done with the priming, the block sanding, the bodywork, and the metal fab. So it starts at the bare bones and works its way up. And I have a number of guys. I've got Tony, I've got Matt, I've got Dan, I've got Will, I've got Zach, I've got Alex. Anybody else I forgot there just real quick, but been with them my whole life almost. But yeah, but all my guys, I mean, it all starts, and it's a crew, and they show up for work, they work late, and we have a great team here. That's where it all starts.
That's great to hear. Elvis fan, how did you begin with the cars?
That was easy. That was when you're young, boys don't want anything to do with girls, and all of a sudden, like flipping a light switch, boys want something to do with girls, right? I mean, it was the same thing with the car. I mean, I built car after car after car after car. 2 cars led into 4 cars, 4 cars led into 8 cars, and pretty soon, honestly, it's like, I think this car would look better with these wheels. I think if I take that motor out and put it in this car. So I got a little X-Acto knife when I was a kid. I'm cutting motors out, cutting the glue out of it, and putting motors in here and hood scoops there, and then testers painting cars up, and in 1 week they could be orange, and next week they're blue, you know, and that's how it all started. And just like a light switch, it's like, I want a real car, you know, and yeah, and then I had enough guts to ask my dad. I says, Dad, I want to buy a car. I had enough money to buy a car, and at that time, you got to understand, so in the early 80s, like I bought a 68 Chevy Impala Super Sport, 327, 4-speed, bucket seats, console, black car, black interior, black vinyl top, triple black car, which is a really rare car. I paid $750 for the car. Yeah, 1983, 4 when I bought the car. But Dad gave me some grief because Dad, he was never a hot rodder. I get that asked all the time. Was Dad a snowmobile racer? No, Dad wasn't a snowmobile racer. Dad, the car was made to go to point A to point B and haul the family around, and the truck was made to go to point A to point B and haul stuff. And that's what Dad was about. And so that had nothing to do with Dad. But my Uncle Bob, he was the hot rodder. I think that's where I got most of that drive from, was my uncle. Yeah.
It was there. But also, I guess with racing, you had to fix things yourself.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Racing was happening before you opened up the shop, right?
Yeah, so street racing and building cars in garages, you know, and changing motors and probably doing some pretty riggy stuff back then. Like, how did we do that, you know? But I mean, it all worked, and we're still here to talk about it. So, but yeah, that's the racing was a big part of in my blood. And don't have any adrenaline junkie or death wishes or anything. I just, you know, Need for Speed is what I've got in me, you know. Big power, sleds, cars, burnouts, racing, it's in my blood, and it always will be till the day I'm gone.
What do you say after that statement?
Well, let me before she answers, I will tell you, John's got truth. She has never ever put the brakes on anything I've done. She's like, no, that's Bill if he wants to do it, and she doesn't even, I think a lot of people would be like, as a wife, she would be trying to con me out of get out of snowmobile racing at this point, but she's like, no,
But
Bill,
she's too involved in it herself.
yes, she is.
Tell us about that.
Voice of.
Yeah, voice of vintage. I've been doing it for probably 10 plus years. Just always supported him at the track. And when we went up to the Eagle River track, I would watch everything that's going on the track. And people started asking me questions about, who was on the track, who had fast times and this and that and stuff. So I started just, really watching that. And at the time, Vintage Sleds, Larry Preston, had his computer, and he would do all these updates on his website. So here I started doing like the updates on his computer. So here he went to do some updates, and he could see that all this stuff was already done. And so he's like, "Wow!" He's like, "You did that?" And I said, "Yeah." And so the one year we went up, asked if I could get into the suite to be able to watch the testing and be able to tell people. I was asked if I could do some scoring up in the tower, and I had never did scoring or anything. And I said, "Well, yeah, I can go up there." And they had a gentleman that was going to be doing the announcing. He had never announced anything with the vintage. He was a water ski announcer. And so I said, well, I can probably help you out with some names as we went along. And that's where it all started, because I knew a lot
You
about
sounded better, and you knew what you were talking about.
I knew a lot of the drivers, about the families and stuff, because Bill had been racing and stuff, so I knew the history on some of them. I was able to throw in some quirks, some stories, some this, some that, and I've been up in the tower basically ever since.
Basically
So,
ever since.
yeah.
At least you're right there with him when he's out there.
Right.
Now there's a lot of trophies here, so
Yeah, those are basically everyone's snowmobile stuff. And when you go to car shows and with some trophies, I mean, I'm not a trophy hunter at the car shows. I just love going to car shows and participating. But every one of these trophies are trophies that I won, and you really have to work to win these. This isn't a buddy voting for a buddy or anything like that. This is real, true blue. This is me right here. This one doing the big wheelie. Got to show off a little bit, which I really don't like this side doing that, but
Favorite picture?
yeah. And then this is my favorite picture here. This is an event that I won and handed Becky and Caitlin the trophy. And then this here picture here, that's Becky when she raced. That's me, and that's our daughter Caitlin, who was a world champion up at
Becky,
Eagle
you
River.
did some racing as well.
I did some racing, yes. Actually, in 2020, right in smack dab in the middle of COVID, I bought the cafe, and that is actually when I retired from racing, because I'm at the cafe 7 days a week.
Everybody at home wants to see the hot rod shop and see what projects, as well as check out some of your body and paint work. Snowmobile racer and champion.
Yeah.
It's got a hot rod shop, everybody.
Yeah.
Kuzin'S Kustom body and paint. Okay, everybody, take a look at this. Now, this is just one of the buildings. There is another one, and it winds. There's a lot of other doors. But where are we standing right now?
So we're in the main part of the shop where a lot of body work happens, metal fab. So here we have a 1960 Mercedes-Benz, which is only here for mechanical work. We didn't restore that car or paint it, but it's here for mechanical. Here is a Jaguar that's getting ready for paint next week. And it's all edged up and all the body work's done, been block sanded, primed, everything's where it needs to be.
Has there been some changes to the body?
No, a stock original. No.
And what will you be painting it?
Pardon me?
What's the color?
Oh, silver. Yeah, it's original silver car, yeah. And then here's a Mustang that we painted and we're getting ready to put together. This is kind of a different car. I mean, there's a cult following for these, mid-70s Mustangs, and this is called a King Cobra. This is pretty neat with the graphics all on it, but it's a different car. But everybody has their own taste, and there's a
Oh, absolutely.
58 Buick that we're going to get going on. That's got all stripped down and lots of metal work to do with that car. And
So this is where the cars first come in, and then you clean, you sandblast.
yeah.
All right. What are you working on here?
There is a 1971 Mustang that was when body filler was invented, everybody became a body man, and 90% of those shouldn't have, and that's one of those cases. It was horribly done, and we ended up refabbing every panel on it, and there's a lot of money and time invested in that car to get it to that point. But it's ready for us to start doing some edging, and we're ready to get some paint on it here pretty soon. And then here's a Jeep that, same thing, once we got the paint off of it, we found a bunch of sin, and that's what we call it. And so...
Did you say sin?
Sin.
Okay, I don't think I have heard that term before.
Yeah, that's, I don't know if it's something...
Is it like sin, like S-I-N?
It's just probably something that we invented, meaning sin, like you shouldn't have did that.
Oh, okay.
You know, shame on you.
Yep.
Whoever you are, shame on you. You shouldn't have did that.
And you guys were going to be doing the work and seeing it.
Yeah.
You're left with the hard work.
You wouldn't
now.
believe some of the, just bluntly speaking, in the body shop, you wouldn't believe some of the cobble job stuff that we've witnessed and came across that we've had to fix. And and that can get to be an ugly situation, because then if you got an understanding customer, he's like, oh my gosh, well, yeah, we got to fix that. And then the next guy's like, well, you said it's only going to cost this much. But we had to do so much more work, though.
Or I gave you something that had nice paint on it, and everything was there.
Paint can hide a lot of things. And unfortunately, that's the unfortunate part of it. And I've had people say that I can go out and buy a vehicle cheaper, already done, which is probably true. I mean, but you never know what you got. And if you're having it done by a reputable shop, and if they're, straight up with you, you can see the project or get pictures or whatever, and it's getting done correctly, you can, feel good and sleep good at night knowing that it's getting done right. If you buy something that's already got the paint on it, like this one did and that one, well, yeah.
Well, that's the thing. If you are going to buy something, then best to buy it from someone that you know who's had it built.
If you can, but the problem is, you go to Barrett-Jackson and you look at all the cars that go roll across there, or Mecum, those kind of auctions, and you just don't know what you're getting if it's got paint on it. But I mean, if you hear it's done by a reputable shop, or you can do a little research on them, then I think you're gold. You can buy a good vehicle and feel comfortable.
By doing your research.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
build it or get it built, because
Yep.
then you can see exactly what's going on.
Yep. And then what we got here is we got the metal fab shop. We only have so much room, so I mean, we get a lot of stuff done in this room, unbelievable. But we have English wheel, we have shapers, we have stretchers and shrinkers, and we have metal benders and brakes and cutting tools. And this is a little build table here that's kind of the start of a snowmobile, and sandblasters, parts washers, mill, lathe, anything that we can pretty much do that we can do, we do it here. We try to have as much done in-house, but there's certain things that I have to have done outside.
Yeah.
And every shop will agree with me. If it's not in your control, sometimes that can get you in trouble, because you're waiting now on someone else to get your parts done, and we can't go any farther until we get our parts.
So you try to do as much as you can
Yeah,
in-house.
we try to, yes.
And how many employees do you have?
8 total right now.
Nice.
Yep.
I, of course, like to come in after hours, so I'm not bothering anybody, which is why there's no one here today.
And I will mention that 2 of those employees are actually high school kids. I have 8 for the summer. I have 6 hardcore full-time, and then I have these 2 kids that come in after school now, which is school starting, but they work for me all summer. And I can't tell you how happy I am to have some young kids that want to be in this. And because one of my buddies, Lonnie Spear from Kuzin'S Kustom, who now works at House of Color, he told me one time we were at a car show together, walking around, he says, Bill, it says guys like me and you, we're a dying breed. And but I tell you, he couldn't be more true, and it's been in my mind ever since. When I was a kid riding a bike, if I saw a hot rod, man, my bike's going right to that hot rod. I get kids that ride by this shop. I could have the baddest car out there, the baddest paint job on it, and just, the car people would be ooh, ah over it, and these kids ride right by it and don't even think twice about it.
Yeah, I think that's sad.
Yeah.
But it is happening, and hopefully we can keep it alive and ignite that flame once again.
Yeah.
So they're learning here as well?
Oh, yeah. It's free schooling. It is.
Oh, it really is. There's no better way to learn than actually being inside the body shop.
And I have a lot of those. I mean, they're not holding the spray gun, or they're not doing welding, or they're not doing metal fab, but they're right there and they're seeing it happening, and it gets in their head. But they are helping doing sanding and scuffing and taping up and cleaning. I mean, it's a body shop, and I've always said if we're not making dust, we're not making money. So if they get in a little lull, I told them right out, I says, there's always dust, go sweep. So.
All right, let's continue.
All right, so what we got here is, I'll get the lights. This basically is just a room for containment, so I can prime in here. Don't really paint in here too much, but if we're doing big body shop work, dust work, it's all confined. What we got here is a 1969 Charger that we did. It's getting ready for assembly, and customers coming down to look at it from Minnesota, and we got some things to go over with it. But this is a car that we basically built from scratch. It actually was started from another shop, and then the guy bought it as a car that was already started, and we redid the whole car. Yeah, we saw a lot of things that we didn't like also that was done, and we basically cut panels off and re-welded panels and had to buy some new panels, but it's done right now, and all the gaps, all the lines. And Chargers are a little bit more tricky to do. There's just so many body lines on a Charger. The 68 to 70 Charger is in all the...
chose black.
Yeah, he chose black, yeah. He was between black and Plum Crazy. And when he decided black, then I talked to him about putting a Plum Crazy stripe on it. So it looks really good. And then that's a satin clear on it. So it looks like a decal, but it's actually paint, and it's painted on.
And when did you start painting? How did that become your
Oh,
style?
I've always wanted to paint ever since I had a spray bomb in my hand. I've always wanted to be a painter. Always wanted to be a custom painter. So, and then spraying black, this is no big deal. I mean, there's a lot of people there's a lot of talented people out there, and they may not be in the profession. And that goes as far as a mechanic, a carpenter. You know, there's all kinds of business out there that they just may have a whole nother job, and that's how they make their living, but they're very talented in their own home garage. And I know a lot of good painters, I really do. But what comes down to is when you get into the pearls and the candies and the striping, and I just love it how people's like, man, I've never seen a candy look this good. Just like last week on my Bel Air, I've had so many people come up to me and say, I have never seen candy sprayed this way. I mean, it's a good feeling. It really is. So
Took home a few awards as well, didn't it?
yes, it does. And like I said, though, I'm very humble about it, though, because you know what? I mean, there's always somebody better, and I know that, and I just do what I do. That's
And what you enjoy.
Yeah.
Now, what is the plans?
well, we gotta go over interior, and we gotta go over engine compartment stuff, and it just all parts of the build. And
What's the engine you want to do?
well, that's kind of what we're going to talk about. He's either talking about putting a modern Hemi in it, or he's got a 440 for it. So I'm not quite sure what he's decided on that, but that's going to be the next step.
But it's painted and it's ready to go, the body
Yep.
at least.
Yep. We always take things to almost a final buff, but it's not final buffed yet. And just because, God forbid, but you hate to put a scratch or a nick in it, there might be some repainting, there might be some touch up, but we're going to be leaning over things and fondling things. So, you know, it's always going to get a final buff before it leaves. So this is really nice, as you can see. I mean, looks really, really good.
But you are ready and prepared if something was to happen during installation.
Yeah, which I'm going to say it never happens, and if any shop ever tells you different, they're lying. That's just how it is. But we're very good. I mean, 1 out of 15 cars I might have to repaint something. So yeah, just because, you know, it's unfortunate, but it happens. And this is black, so this would be an easy touch up anyways. So. And then back here is my paint room.
Check this out, everyone. That's how you know where in the company meets the painter. Were you trying out some colors or samples there?
You should check out this. So this is my daughter, Caitlin. So when she comes back and sees me, she always grabs a little brush, and these are just different colors, and she's been smiley facing the door just with different colors.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So this is my home away from home here. A lot of times we work late. I send all my guys home. I do all my painting at night. So that's why I paint sometimes midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. I live on 3 hours of sleep. 3 hours, that's, ask her. I mean, it's the truth. I live on 3 hours of sleep.
Look up to most when it comes to people of the hot rod industry and builders in the past? From the past?
I will. So as far as builders go, there's no doubt right here in the state of Wisconsin, Ring Brothers. I mean, they've proven themselves, and they don't have a big show or nothing like that. They build some exotic stuff. Like I'll never build anything that some of the stuff that they build. We do what we do, and we're very proud of it. And shops have to realize that, and people have to realize that. You know that. There's just a certain amount of talent or a certain amount of space or whatever you can do. And
resources.
Yeah, and we do what we do. Another shop, well, if you look at, you know, like the big names like Jib Foos, obviously, and Kindig, you know, those are just over the top. But again, we're very proud at what we do, and no job is better than others. And one thing that really bothers me, the customers come in, they want something painted, like, well, I don't want it to be a show car. We only do one thing here. I mean, if the minute I do something less, that's the minute I'm in trouble. Look what Bill did, you know. And I just don't go down that road anymore. I don't need to, you know. It's just, I do what I do. This is the price, and if it doesn't work out,
as a painter, almost in order to, because you are so passionate about your work and your skills, it ends up being the quality of a show car.
Yeah.
You cannot bring that down a few notches because
Yeah.
someone tells you this is not going to be a show car. And
yeah, exactly.
as a painter, that's the part of the car that you can't bring that down, you know.
No.
Somebody can minimize the customization that they'll go into a resto mode, but when it comes to the paint,
Yeah.
you'll just have one standard.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Gene Winfield. So I've always been that guy that I want to do this. I don't have no plans for retirement, and I want to be 90 years old, and I want people to drive by the shop and be like, man, that old guy's still painting. And that's what Gene was, okay? So I look up to Gene. Gene was very talented in all his builds, and I feel like I'm on that same path. Like, I'm a metal fabber, I'm a body man, I'm a block sander, I'm a painter. That's everything that Gene did. That's, you know. But one thing that happened is that during SEMA, Kuzin'S Kustoms had an auction for charity. And I was asked to custom paint a guitar. And I'm like, okay, so I've got this guitar. I custom painted this guitar, candied it out, striped it out, faded it out, fades, fogs, bright colors, oranges onto candies, or orange onto red candies, and so forth. I mean, it was a gorgeous guitar when I was done with it. And it was a $120 entry-level guitar on top of it. But it's just for charity and hang on the wall. Well, anyways, at that auction at Kuzin'S Kustoms, it was the second highest bidded item there.
Nice.
Yeah, and I was very proud of it. And Gene, he had actually fell and broke his hip, so he was in a wheelchair. So Gene would wheel himself around, and he got to my guitar, and he wheeled up there, and Becky says to me, she goes, Bill, look at Gene's really checking out your guitar, and he's looking at it, and he picks it up, and he's looking at my stripes, he's holding the guitar, and he goes to set it down, and then Becky goes over and she goes, Gene, turn it over. So Gene picked it back up, turned it over, and I remember him going like this, like he was shocked because I had all this design on the back of it. And he put that guitar back down, and he took his wheelchair, and he didn't go any farther. He wheeled his wheelchair back, and he sat right in front of my guitar. So when all those items started bidding and they got sold, they weren't around the table, and now they came back, and there was my guitar. And my guitar got started at $1,000, no bids. Started at $750, no bids. Started at $500, no bids. I'm like, oh, nobody likes it. And then some guy bid on it, and for $500. Then in the auction years going blah blah blah, and then Gene bid 600, then it was 700, now it's 1,000, now it's 15, now it's 2, now it's 22, now it's 24, and Gene bought the guitar for $2,500. Wow. Second highest thing. So then it got sold that night. So then I went up to Gene, I shook his hand, I says, hey, thanks a lot for buying my guitar, that means something. He goes, did you paint this? And I says, yeah. And he goes, look right in the eye, just looked at me right now, he says, you are one hell of a painter. That was a little guitar. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, and then he goes, I want you to autograph this. I'm like, Gene, I got to be asking you for your autograph. And you autograph that for me. So I autographed it for him. It's all on tape and all in pictures. And he took it home and hung it on the wall. And he's talking about this guitar, how awesome it is. And this guy painted this guitar. And he goes, this is what you need to do. Learn how to paint like this guy.
Nice.
I mean, yeah.
What a moment.
Yeah, it was. And then we became good friends with Gene. And like, we never got to hang with him or anything, but we saw him at shows and auctions and stuff. And every time, ever since then, he'd be like, Elvis, you know, but yeah, we stayed friends to this day. And you know, but now he's obviously, you know, I'm past unfortunately,
Yes.
but very, very nice guy.
I've had the pleasure of meeting him a few times, and one of the times we did do an interview, so that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, very.
So you'll have to check out the channel. But tell me about the painting here, and what is it that sets your paint aside?
Okay.
That gives you the pride in your work.
So I got into Matrix in 2015. And the only reason I got into Matrix is because I was having a problem with another paint company, wasn't liking it. Sitting on the couch, I was watching Kuzin'S Kustoms, and they were using Matrix, and I'm like, well, if they can paint all these cars and make TV shows and get deadlines done, then it's got to be working. So I reached out to one of their painters, Lonnie Spear, and I asked them about Matrix. I said, hey, I'm in no competition with you. I just want to use a good paint. And I said, could you tell about Matrix? And he answered me almost immediately. He goes, hell yeah, bro. He says, give me a call. And he sent me his number. So I called him, and we talked for a long time, and it was pretty much a done deal, and I got into Matrix, and I've been with them since 2015. And then Matrix, which was called MPB, the new technology came, and now it's called Matrix Edge. But I was the second shop in the whole United States to get Matrix Edge. I was the second shop in the whole United States, and Kuzin'S Kustom was the first.
Nice.
And then speaking of the guys at Kuzin'S Kustom, you said about looking up to people, Lonnie, Ryan, and Horny Mike. Those guys have really, those guys really mean a lot to me. They're true, sincere people behind the TV, behind the scenes. They're top notch people. They really are. And then I got involved into another candy company, which is called Auto Paint HQ. So I've been using all their primers, all their sealers, and all their candies. And that green 58 Chevy I showed you, the Corvette we're about to look at it, my Bel Air, those are just named 3, but I mean, I've sprayed a lot of stuff on motorcycles. I'm using all Auto Paint HQ for my candies. So check those out, because you guys are going to be happy with the pricing, the quality, and the look that this company can supply out of a color. It's amazing. And you've seen it firsthand what my Bel Air looked. So.
Oh yes, absolutely. Like coming across different shops and different brands and products that I have not been featured before on the channel, just so everybody can have other options. Let me do the legwork for you, so you can look and see what would be best suited for your shop or at-home garage. But yeah, I mean, you can tell that you're an absolute painter. I mean, everything in here is you take a lot of pride. Becky, is he this neat inside the house as well? As he is in this shop here?
I got a shop at my house. The shop I got at my house is a 4-car garage. So when I work here, then I go home and work in my shop. That's where we built that Bel Air, and that's just built that all on my own time after hours. And I know I'm not kidding when I say I get 3 hours of sleep, because it can be 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm just coming in to take a shower to go to bed, because I just worked on that car all night.
There's a detailed interview with Bill at Havelock Street Art where we had a look at the Bel Air, and it's definitely brilliant. And like I said, the paint looks so wet, and of course it won a lot of awards. So yeah, that's brilliant stuff right there.
So another thing I like to just touch base, I always say that it's the person that makes everything work, but you got to have good equipment, and you can have we'll talk about an aftermarket. I don't want to mention any names, but like an aftermarket company, we all can buy these cheap tools at uptown, and you can take a wrench and break a bolt free and get the nut out, right? I mean, so there are some cheaper tools that work just fine, but I think you got to have a good quality tool to put out a good quality product. So I'm forever in debt with Sada spray guns. I love them to death. I love the company. I love their spray guns. I still use them, but I am involved with another company right now called Luma Light, or Luma 3, and they have guns, lights, and they're coming out with a brand new static gun. When a static gun is the key to all the static electricity off the vehicle when you're painting it. But these guns are top notch. I've been spraying all my candies, pearls, and my normal production painting with these guns as of recently. So I just love that company. And then they have these lights. So, and there's a lot of people that make jokes about it. They're like, oh, you need to put more lights in your spray, but that has nothing to do with it. So
check that out, everyone. Look, it's got an attachment.
It's a light that goes on there. So when you're painting down low, and nobody has lights in the bottom of their booth, so it just then when you get down to the bottom of the car, especially a darker color, you just can't see down there as good. So now you can just put that on there and spray away, and you got these lights. And I don't even
attach that to any spray gun.
Well, they actually have these little kits that you can buy, and they do have them for all kinds of different brands. So you can buy this attachment to fit your gun, and you get a light and just snaps on there easy. Doesn't hardly weigh anything. Can't even tell it's on there. And the guns are lightweight. They're the lightest on the market. So putting this light on there just puts it up at the weight that the other guns are at. And then another product I've been using too is this Rogue. So Dave Benori and Ron Flea, they got me on this here. This is the clear that I actually have on Rogue Custom Finishes. That's the actually clear that I have on my Bel Air, and that thing glows, and you know it. And I'm very happy with that clear. So that's top-notch clear. So they always say you're supposed to use the same product, but that's kind of all went by the wayside. So I love using all my Matrix products, and I use the Auto Paint HQ as the candy paint, and now this clear is actually my show car clear now that I've been using Rogue Custom Finishes.
Well, I sure appreciate that, and I hope people at home do as well, because you didn't just get into this, you've been painting for decades.
Yeah.
So you have seen it, and you've seen what's worked and what hasn't.
Yeah.
And little tips and tricks, so that's why we like to speak with the builders, everybody. All right, of course, let's not forget that besides making, building and painting cars, Elvis, Bill, whichever one you prefer, also builds the snowmobiles.
So we do, there's there's a restoration in progress there, a 76 Rupp Magnum, and here's one of my race sleds. It's a 250cc.
We see a lot of different things inside the shops, everybody, and often we come across bikes, you know, motorbikes, and then of course Foos had bicycles, but now we've got snowmobiles.
Yeah. That's a big part of my life. I probably most remember a snowmobile as the first mechanical thing that I ever really enjoyed. I mean, I got to ride, my grandpa was riding lawnmowers in the summertime. I thought that was cool, but boy, a snowmobile, I've been around snowmobiles my whole life, and yeah, I just love snowmobiles and building cars.
Not just any cars. Check out what's in front of us.
Yeah, it's a 1959 Bonneville. This is actually going in for interior next week, and then we're almost done with this one here, but I've always said that manufacturers were not afraid to use sheet metal back in the day, but look what they could do without computer technology. It's absolutely amazing.
Wow. And what was the condition of the Bonneville when it first came to
It's a pretty rough car. It went through a couple other shops and paint on top of paint and filler on top of filler, but we straightened it all out and got it all metal fabbed out and body worked and painted, and now we're assembling. Lots of chrome. Chroming is not expensive. Rechroming is expensive.
Rechroming is expensive.
Yes.
Well, I guess if it was not done correctly the first time, then you've got to rechrome it. Is that what you mean?
Well, the body. Well, chrome gets pitted and, dents and dings and stuff, and like these bumpers. I mean, it's crazy there's $5,000 in right there just in two bumpers,
Yes.
So, but what happens is that when they dip that stuff to get the chrome off of it, it pollutes their solution, and then it gets weaker and then won't strip the chrome. So, and that's very toxic, very expensive to get rid of that. That's why rechroming is so expensive. Chroming a brand new part isn't really that expensive, but it's the rechroming. So to get the old chrome off and then to fix what's ever wrong, because if it's pitted, they got to copper it, and then they grind it and they recopper it and grind it. And so they make the part perfect, and then it goes into chrome. And then that's why it costs so much money.
I see what you're saying. We work, because obviously with a lot of these cars that are going through restorations, there is already chrome on it, and it has to be re-chromed.
Yes.
Which is why chroming is always, I've heard that it's such an expensive process.
Yeah.
Tell me about the engine here for the Bonneville before we move.
Just the motor, the original motor has been all rebuilt. We had it on a run stand, so we already ran it and dynoed it in, tuned it in, and runs really good. Interior next weekend is going to take probably 3-4 weeks at the interior shop for everything, because they're making everything custom, and then but they're trying to do it the stock original. So and then we get it back next week when it goes. The whole front end will be on it, and so like another month roughly it'll be done.
It's beautiful. And what do you call the paint?
Well, it's original. It's a 1959. Geez, I forget even what they named it, but that's the original color. Yeah, they had a lot of different colors there back then, but.
We've got another Charger here.
Yeah, so that
Datsun at the top.
69 Camaro.
69 Camaro.
Yeah, Z28 396.
Yep.
That's a complete full-blown restoration there. The Charger we're just assembling it. The car was painted years ago, 15 years ago. Never got put together, so we're putting it together. We're almost done with it for the guy. And then, but yeah, we didn't paint it or nothing, just putting it together. But the Camaro, another couple weeks, and that'll be ready for paint. And we'll finish this one up.
And what's next? Someone approached you about another major build?
Yeah, we got quite a few actually that people have been inquiring about, and we've got some that are already dedicated to do. So there's only so much time, that takes a long time to do these cars. So I have something waiting. We got a 78 Trans Am that's a resto mod, and we have a 64 Lincoln suicide doors, kind of like that same looking car that Kennedy had his fatal deal with, and that kind of car. And so yeah, so we got work, but we're also scheduling and just putting people on a schedule. Yeah, this little section over here is that's a lot of my snowmobile. This is in the winter time. This little section over here is my race section. This is where we work on the race sleds right here. And then right now we're doing our restorations here. We used to do them in the back, but we don't anymore. And then So like, for example, like these snowmobile engines, this is stock, just a stock rebuild. I got to get a crank in it, build this engine for a customer.
So you built the snowmobiles for customers as well. They're not just for yourself.
No, oh yeah, they're all customers. The only thing I built for myself right now is race sleds.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a customer sled there, and then we got about five sled restorations to do here before winter comes for customers, and promised I'd have them done, so I better have them done. So,
And what's the name of the snowmobile business?
the Rup Shop.
The Wrap Shop.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't. It's just the name that I set for it, but it's all through my business, Kuzin'S Kustom Body and Paint. But and then I supply parts, so they have all these aftermarket parts that we've had remade, and I've got a ton of stock original parts. And
So you would be a distributor for a lot of the parts
Yes.
for the snowmobiles.
yep.
Before we wrap up here, Becky, come into the frame as well, please. You're on Rana's radar. What's your favorite car?
Yes, I don't have a favorite because everything that he has built, that he has worked on, has been super cool. But he built me a 79 Camaro, put a 406 tri-power in it for me so that when we go to shows, I have my own car. A lot of times we'll ride together to a show because
Because she sleeps.
lot of long hours at the cafe. He said he goes to bed, real late. I get up real early, so he's going to bed at 2 a.m. I'm getting up at 3 a.m. So, yeah.
But you guys make it work.
We do.
Now, I did notice a charger, and I'm going to show you guys this clip here while I was walking around. Tell me about the little girl inside the charger.
That is our daughter, Caitlin. Yeah, it's a 69 Dodge Coronet that I built. That's actually the first car I ever could have had. That's why I'm attracted to the Mopar scene, and because I like my Dodges. But it was a 69 Coronet. Dad wouldn't let me buy it, so years later I bought one and restored one. And Caitlin was just a little squirt, and she was helping me tape up the car, and she was growing in that, raised up in that car. So that's Caitlin's favorite car. I'm gonna answer that for you right now. So I took her to the wedding in that car, and she went to graduation in that car, went to prom in that car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fair to say the car is going to her.
Yeah, that car's going nowhere. And,
It's a Coronet. I was looking at it from a distance.
yeah,
I
it's
thought
just six. Yeah, but you know what? I've been told my whole life when people just don't know cars that well, and I know you do. But there's a lot of people that just when I drive by, they would yell, "Hey, nice Charger!" And it's a Coronet, But and they look similar. I mean, they do, but they don't. But if you don't know, you don't know. And
There's another door now.
so coming through this door is my main paint booth, and inside here is a 1963 Corvette that we did a complete resto-mod restoration on, and I had strict instructions to not take away from it being a 63 Corvette, but it is a resto-mod.
I'm going to stop Elvis right there because as much as I would like him to continue telling us and sharing those tricks and exactly what he's done, we're going to look at this in more detail because there is footage from the undercarriage when it was up on the lift as Bill was working on it. And that's going to be on the next video as we continue with Kuzin'S Kustom Body and Paint. But Becky, I want to go check out your cafe.
Okay, let's do it.
Why don't we do that so people, when you do come here to check it out or say hello to Bill, you know exactly where to stop. And the next video, more details on the beautiful vet. Let's continue. Okay, Polonia Cafe, everybody. I do like seeing places that is kind of an extension from the hot rod shops, and we've seen it before on the channel with breweries and bars and grills, but now we have a cafe, and I have a soft spot for cafes. All right, I'm gonna let you lead. I know Becky's been waiting for us. There she is. Polonia Cafe.
Yes, Becky's downtown, Polonia Cafe.
Thank you so much for opening after hours.
Of
For
course.
starters.
All for you.
And I don't think we would have been able to do this if everybody was in here and it was packed.
Correct. Sunday mornings is our busiest time, so right after church, the place is filled from one end to the other.
And as Becky mentioned earlier, you were into snowmobile racing.
Yes.
Right up there.
Yes.
And then this cafe evolved around 2020 and it's just thrived.
Yes.
What do you enjoy more?
Well, I come in each day early morning and I do all kinds of bakery and such, and then.
So do you bake it all in here?
Yeah, yeah. So here's some of the bakery, all the pastries, and there's bear claws and bear paws and turnovers and dumplings and Danish.
And donuts. Oh my good. Punchka. Okay. Now you have to explain to me because I did laugh and I said, "What's a punchka?"
Polish tradition is that they are fried and they're normally filled with prune or raspberry, whereas I do a number of different ones and I have anywhere from raspberry, prune, lemon, Bavarian cream, chocolate Bavarian, chunky monkeys, which is banana whipped cream with the chocolate topping and walnuts on top.
So these are all okay.
Yes. So blueberry, cherry, strawberry. I do some buttercreams at times, so I fill them with whatever I feel like.
Wow.
And I bake mine.
Hey Elvis, you're in heaven working at the shop with this across the road, right? You're in here all the time for snacks?
I don't come here that often though. I'm better off not to.
So, and we just do different things. I have rhubarb dream bars in there right now. Someone had brought me some zucchini. So I have, last week I had made some lemon zucchini muffins. Right now I have, it's a cinnamon sugar zucchini coffee cake in there. So.
Zucchini. Okay. How does it taste?
Good.
In a bag. Okay, I've never had that. So interesting. Check this out, everyone. I love black and white pictures. Becky, talk to me.
These are actually one of our customers. His name is John Shimrovich, and this is all pictures from his collection. They have been here since '95 when the cafe first opened under Diane and Kenny Kajeski. And then I am actually the fourth owner of the cafe, but all of these pictures are John Shimrovich's. So, and they are from around this area. Like right here, this one is the Polonia school. And some of these people in the picture are still around. We actually just lost.
No way.
Yes, yeah. She lives just down the road. And she normally comes in like on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. And so, yeah.
Oh my God, I love that. I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
People from the town, this very historical town, isn't it?
Right? Yeah.
It's from the 1920s.
Yeah.
To be up and running.
Yeah. Bill's shop.
1800s.
There's a picture from
check
there,
this.
right next door. There is Sylvia's. That's still going, and that's from way back when.
that
pictures.
is that right there.
That's okay.
And then them 3 steps, everything is just like that right now, over there.
I love that. I absolutely love that it hasn't been changed and
That's my shop right there. That's right in the corner of the office.
you said that it was a Chevrolet dealership.
Yep.
Is that a gas pump? Is that what I'm looking at?
Yep.
That is a gas pump. Wow. And it's amazing, Elvis, that you have kept to this theme of the town. You have been here for 34 years. You haven't gone ahead to just change the building and all that. You've kept to it. And I think the locals would appreciate that too, wouldn't they?
Right? Yeah, Bill, we go to all these different car shows and stuff, and I go with him as often as I can. I had found that coffee sign at one of the swap meets, and Bill painted it up for me. And then this one here,
Might that be for your Christmas present?
yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, this is awesome.
And then John Shimrovich, again with all these stuff here. That is all his display. He's got so many cool things. I've always said that if he was to charge to go through his house, it would be like a museum. And he just has very cool pieces, and so he has put up that display.
Does he have classic cars?
he does not. No.
So many people at home would have been thinking exactly the same thing. Does he have a little secret junkyard filled with all these toys?
Nope, that
Model
car's
A's?
just all kinds of, cool stuff.
Beautiful, just vintage
pictures
antiques.
and guns. And, yeah.
Definitely a collector, isn't he?
Yes.
Oh, but this is super cool, everybody. I am going to put the address as well as details all here on the screen, as well as in the description as well, so you can have a look for yourself. Thank you. Come in here, have a look at the pictures, meet Becky, have a drink, have a little pastry, and then go over to Kuzin'S Kustom's Body and Paint.
Yep.
And see what Bill's been up to,
Yeah.
because he'll definitely be doing something.
Right?
This is super cool. I have had such a great time. You guys are an awesome couple.
Thank you.
I love it. From your racing days to drag racing to building hot rods to changing careers and still thriving. And I love it when people are like that, being active and just full of energy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. It's been so much fun. Thank you for your time, you guys.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So where do you have to drive?
I'm not going to eat all of that now because my face was, I guess, so surprised at zucchini. Poor Becky had to bring me out a piece, and I got to say, this is so yummy. Check this out. This is just, oh my God. And there's zucchini in this.
There is.
It's healthy. I can have the whole thing.
You can.
And then we've got, this is the raspberry.
You gotta try that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No wonder these guys are so happy. But that's awesome. Yeah, I just want to share that there is a full kitchen in the back, everybody. Not only for breakfast, like omelets, skillets, but also lunch. Check that out. Sandwiches, burgers. I mean, I would have come back just to have this cake. Can I call it a cake? What I'm eating now, is it a cake
Zucchini
or
coffee cake? Yeah.
zucchini coffee cake? But yeah, there is everything's here.
Yeah. And pies.
And pies as
Yeah,
well.
This one is a German chocolate pie. That one is a caramel apple cheesecake, banana cream pie, pistachio cream.
I'm in
I don't
it.
know if it's the end of the day for me or if I'm just really hungry, but I mean, it just, everything looks, and of course, I've tasted just the two, and it's mouthwatering stuff, everybody.